All right, we're at the store, and I haven't done a tour in a long time, and Murphy has seriously gotten so big, and I want to address. So Murphy is quite the ham. He's gonna feed, and it's gonna be amazing, but some of the stuff that doesn't get addressed is all the crypts. There's Crypt Florida Sunset and Crypt Tropica. That's what all these gorgeous crypts are. They've been here for a long time. And behind we have Bulbitis, and then we have like the biggest dwarf aquarium lily. Not the biggest, but it's well grown in. And today we're gonna feed him a bunch of clams. So he eats insane amounts of clams, and he costs a lot of money when he does that. And you can see he's got these chomping teeth, and you're gonna hear him just bust right through them like they're potato chips. He's now basically 2 feet long, you know, maybe 22 inches, but it's, you know, we're not pulling him out to measure, but it's crazy big at this point. The tank is 360 gallons on auto water change. And his teeth are getting a little bit long, so we've actually, we're gonna be switching over to a more intense clam, so a thicker shell clam, a manila clam is what's next for him. We fed him some earlier today, he did well with them, so we're finishing up these kind of clams on the half shell here. And yeah, so teeth are a little bit longer than we'd like, so that's what our upgrading is, intensity of clam crunching. The tank itself is 6 feet, you know, kind of right to left here, and 4 feet front to back, and 2 feet tall. There's always the Murphy camera, so 24 hours a day, there is a camera on Murphy. You could be watching this, and we'll put a link to that down below. It's one of our most visited websites, and people watch him all the time because he's interesting, and people love to spy on other people that are looking at Murphy and interacting. So, but you can see that belly will just grow. And, you know, Maboo pufferfish, I guess I didn't say that at the beginning. This is what Ladybird is. I have one at home, it's smaller, but we're raising up another one because now that I'm not in the store all the time, I don't get to interact. But, you know, Murphy's my buddy. Every day opens a store, hams it up for everyone. And so we're gonna show you the rest of the store now because we got a bunch of cool fish in. So let me get the lights on and we will get to it. All right, so we've got the lights on here, and we've got a 90-gallon tank with the Murphy cam right above it there. And this has some nice blue angels and Vallisneria. So not necessarily displayed, it's an easy tank. We sell the rainbows and the angels out of there. This is a row of 20-gallon aquariums, and there's 42 of them. And we're gonna go through each one relatively quickly. I know people say like, do it slower. If we spend a lot of time on each fish, there's hundreds of species here. This video will take hours. So usually it takes about 30 minutes to do something like this. And in here, the standout thing would be these locally bred green Moscow guppies, or the Brazil green Moscow guppies. And you'll know they're locally bred because we have a blue tag on them. So anything that's blue tagged, locally sourced, which is one of our key objectives here at the Aquarium Co-Op. So that's kind of that co-op mentality, locally sourced, locally bred, sustainable. We also have coolie loaches, and these are the Glow Light Orange Danio. So you can see my reflection there. Sorry for that, but we'll have to deal. Up top, we have angelfish, which have also been locally bred. And then we've got some bristlenose and some neon red rainbow fish, and that's what these guys with the blue eyes are. So over here, we have a bunch of Odessa barbs, and we have really gorgeous peacock gudgeons. Now again, we try to get as much locally bred as we can. Look at that, we have locally bred Odessa barbs as well. So we're doing quite well on the local bred aspect today at least. Down below, we've got assorted guppies. No one's really cranking these out for us, so you know that's kind of what my fish room's hopefully gonna do soon. Down low, we've got keyhole cichlids, and one of my absolute favorite, the flagtail porthole cats. with that striped tail. They're kind of like giant autocinclus in terms of behavior. They don't eat the same way, but they're very nice. I like them. Over here we've got a few things. So Hasbrosus Corys, or Habrosus Corys. These are Apistos, Agassizi double reds. And then we've got, in theory, a vampire pleco hidden somewhere in here. But these are our moss bridges that work great. You can see that we have Hasbrosus sitting on top. I don't know where the pleco's hiding, but you know, we'll keep moving. We could hunt all day trying to find those. Up here we kind of have a cheaper tetra. This is the red-eyed monk tetra, and just having big schools is really fun. So cheaper tetra, really robust, great for beginners. Down low we have a very cool African cichlid. Now this is a West African cichlid. This is the Victorian mouth brooder, and I believe this to be Victorae multicolor Victorae, yeah. So that's a male there, and they're a mouth brooder, so they hold the eggs in their mouth, and the female's much more drab, but very cool fish, kind of like Crebensis, and not that they're, you know, an egg layer, but cool in the same aspect. Over here we've got lots of ember red tetras with super red Pistogramma cockatoides. Now there's some Adolphi Corys, which are kind of that little Corydora that are expensive. And then somewhere hidden in here, usually, yep, there it goes, below that sponge filter is a snowball pleco. Up top, got cherry barbs. Down low, we've got dwarf chain loaches, so those little guys are down there, with roseline sharks. If we go over a tank, a bunch of Julii Corydoras and some Cupido cichlids. They're kind of a dwarf earth-eating cichlid, so kind of a fun one. As we move up, we've got dwarf neon rainbows kind of through the center. We've got a male bristlenose. He looks like he's fanning eggs, but I don't see any eggs. You see how he's fanning with his fins there? That's usually what they do when they're fanning eggs, but I don't see any. And then also we've got sumo loaches down beneath him, and we've got some Apistogramma cockatoides orange flash. So here's a female, kind of drab with the black fins there on the bottom. The males, lots of orange color on those fins, so that's how you can sex those. Up top, we've got the black neon tetra, great beginner fish, bulletproof, and then not so bulletproof, we have the marble hatchet fish. Kind of a fun combo there. If we go over a tank, we've got black phantom tetras, and then so the females have got that more red, and they're not fully developed yet, so they're gonna get a lot more kind of black and blue color on the males. Autocinclus are in there as well. You can see those up at the top right corner. So then, come down here, we've got lots and lots of Rasbora hets, nice big school. And then we've got Apisto Agassizi fire reds. Those are always a great seller for us. And then we have a yellow king tiger pleco hidden inside the coconut cave. You can see its pattern there. Yep. So we love coconut caves. One of the natural things allows plecos to kind of eat on them. And again, floating moss ball. Down low, we've got some assorted rainbow fish, mostly turquoise, or not, mostly turquoise. You can see that one's turning on its color, so it's got that orange kind of flash. That's kind of a male that's trying to breed right now. And we also have a pair of giant Crebensis. That's what that is there. Over here, we've got lots of Endler types. We've got some blue phantom plecos hidden right underneath the sponge filter, which, by the way, that's our own sponge filter design. You can buy that on our website if you're interested. And then Venezuelan Corys. So sometimes these are kind of called con color and that kind of stuff. They're interesting. You got to kind of be a connoisseur for those. Up top, we've got mollies, true freshwater mollies. We've got the black ones, and we have kind of the orange mango type colored ones. Down low, we've got frittata rainbows. They've got those pom-poms. You might have seen those in some of my 10 and 20 gallon recommendation videos. And then we've got yo-yo loaches, which one's right there for us. Next up, lots of green neon tetras, one of my absolute favorites, with pygmy corydoras and some Apistogramma hongslowii, which we've got one hanging out right there. Now here we've got some gold rams. These were bred by Dean, and so again, more locally bred fish combined with rummy-nosed tetras and stirrabis. Now all of these want to be at a higher temperature. We recommend the bare minimum being 82. We have it at 82.5 degrees. They do really well at 85 though. Up top, we've got black Moscow guppies. They show great against the blue background. We've got some Equus pencil fish. That's what these guys are up here. And some super red bristlenose hiding somewhere that I don't see, combined with a few rainbow sharks. Over here, looks like someone's bought most of our longfin serpe tetras, but you gotta hunt to see where the money is in this tank, and it happens to be right down here. BETTA macrostoma, locally bred, look at that blue tag, right there. So yeah, cool thing to have around sitting in the shop. All right, we've got cardinal tetras here, normal German blue rams, not bred by Dean, dwarf petricola catfish, that's what these guys are on the back that swim around like sharks, and then an L114 Strenella pleco. We'll see if we can, yep, there it is, also known as like the cactus. Of course it wants to focus on anything but that back there. Ooh, that guy kind of helped us a little bit. Down low, we've got ranchus. Nice little cuddly goldfish. To the side of that, we've got assorted platies. Some nice corals, and we've got some albino, or not albino, but bumblebees. Moving up, we've got quite a few ornate gobies. That's what these guys are. And they love to clean plants. So a lot of microfoods go in here, and this is one of the kind of the best ways to feed them is plants and that kind of stuff. So highly recommend keeping some moss and infusoria growing on that moss. We also have Pristilla tetras in there and Panda corydoras and some Medusa pleco hidden in the back. Right back there, but a lot of debris because they're digging and eating. You know, as we fed, the corydoras are going nuts. So up top we have a rarer danio, I would say, the Kyathit danio, and some pearl gouramis. Over here we've got the glow tetra, both albino and normal form. Kind of a staple tetra, easy to take care of. Down below that, we've got honey gouramis. That's what these guys are. We've got the Kubota rasbora, which is the neon green rasbora. We've got Cory ambicus, corydora. And then there should be a sultan pleco. Yeah, that guy right back there, hidden back there, looking good. But they're spendy, 65 bucks. Up top here, we've got green fire tetras. These are a cool tetra with that green and red on them, and then really nice red honey gouramis. Great looking fish. In here, we've got another type of rasbora. This is the pork chop rasbora. We've got female powder blue gouramis. Wait, these might be males. Yeah, I think they are just males. So we have male powder blue gouramis. And then we also have Corydora similis. This actually made one of my top 10 lists recently. And then we've got some reticulated hillstream loaches. Down low, BETTA machiensis, I believe. Yeah, that's what those guys are back there, the blue ones. And then a bunch of Siamese algae eaters and a clown pleco, kind of hanging out by the sponge filter. More assorted guppies here. Up top, we've got a gaggle of zebra danios. Over here, we've got the silvertip tetra, one of my favorite. If you can buy at least 50 of these, they're amazing because when you put your hand up to the tank, they always do this. They'll follow you, and you can get just massive schools going if you got a 55 or larger. So, you know, they're a little, you know, adds up when you're buying 50 fish at $3.49 a pop, but a great effect that everyone loves to play with. Down here, we've got neon tetras. We've got bamboo shrimp hanging out on the sponge. We've got longfin salt and pepper cories. Those are fun. We've also got some strawberry bettas in here. Oh yeah, right back there. One of my favorites to breed. They're a mouth brooder. They're fun. I like that fish. Down low, we've got rosy barbs, as you're seeing on screen. We've got rice fish for $9.99, and we've got some albino Corys. Nothing wrong with that. So then we're gonna take a spin, and we're gonna go over here into kind of the plants and some of the nano fish. So plant selection here at the store. Obviously not as many plants here as in our warehouse, but you know, taken care of nonetheless. So you can see nice fat healthy auto here, clean on algae. We inject CO2. We've got plants purling. That's what all of these bubbles going up towards the top are, because the plants are photosynthesizing at a high rate and are growing very quickly. So this is one of the best states in which you can buy a plant, and typically this is also what we're doing at the warehouse when you buy from us as well. So we can look up here and we've got some higher light plants, and you can see just the sheer amount of oxygen these are releasing, because we've got a lot of CO2 going in. These baby tears, not dwarf baby tears, but regular baby tears. And sometimes we need to rehab some plants, so we might be rehabbing like this crinum and that kind of stuff. So, but as we look, you know, there's lots of plants for sale. Easy to get what you need, I would say. You know, they do sell. We've got different types of buse down here. Look how good our buse is looking, selling out pretty quick. We'll move on from the plants, but that's how we treat plants here. You know, the system's been in place for a long time, really dialed in, works well for us. Look at this guy. We've got a blue wood shrimp doing work. He catches little stuff out of the water and eats it, and that's why the water's a little bit milky, as we've fed them. So that's how they do that. Next up over here, we've got Brigitae rasboras. We've also got red willy shrimp right there. They're really there. And some assassin snails hidden in the gravel. That's those striped guys that are moving. Now up above we have an albino Senegal bicher, a couple of those, and somewhere there's a brown knife, but I suspect it must be in the cave. Next up we've got a Faka puffer. He's checking us out. Down low we've got exclamation point rasboras, some Saswassertang screens for sale, orange shrimp, and some of these new green farlawallas that we hadn't seen before. Kind of fun. Up top, this is some fish I'm going to take home and put in one of my ponds. We have the silver half-beaks. That's a fun fish. They hang out up top and they just look cool, kind of like baby gars. So I'm going to play with those, see if I can't spawn them. Down low here, we've got Norman lamp-eye Achilles. You hear me talk about them all the time. They're hard to see on video, but that blue eye will stare at you from across the room. So go down, we've got longfin white clouds. They're not super long yet. They get that with age, but they still look good. Ooh, there's some down there displaying. Those guys are looking better. And then we've got the panda log sucker right there. Next to that, tons of pea puffers. You know, with having Murphy, everyone wants to own a puffer, so we sell these guys because they're the smallest ones. And then we've got clown killies. We recently did a species guide on that, and some strawberry rasboras swimming around, and cherry shrimp. Now up top, we do very, very few quote-unquote show tanks, because anytime we set something up, people just want to buy it. So we've done this little 3-gallon nano, because we try to lead by example. We have some very small fish, but keep in mind, this is 3 gallons. Here's the size of my hand, right? Like, that's not that big of an aquarium. But we've got lots of plants in there, and they're purling. We're not injecting CO2. Let me make sure that's a true statement. That's a true statement, good. Just using a sponge filter. We've got Clifford, the red betta, living in there. We've got some little moss balls and some grass and you know, all of that kind of stuff going on. But it's kind of to prove a couple of things, that you can still get purling from plants, which we're getting, while not having to inject CO2, and how to have a micro community. Now, this takes water changes, this takes work. So just because it's a smaller tank, usually the smaller the tank, the more work it is. So just know that, but this is trying to be a demonstration of what can be done. We just have a small sponge filter run off of one of our USB air pumps, a Phoenix light, and this little small guy. So over here, lights are starting to turn off because we're here late tonight, so this isn't lit up as much as it normally would be. Very big school of neon tetras in there. And then we've got roseline sharks and again, more plants. We're using a basic CO2 system here. The way this works is by diffusion over time. So it absorbs, the water absorbs it. So you just keep filling this chamber, and that's what this does. I can press this button. We're gonna put some in. See, as I fill it, if I fill it up too much, you'll watch it go out the side and go up to the top. Here it goes. So that's all CO2. Now, as water goes by this, it's slowly gonna dissolve. Now, this is a very slow system to add CO2 to an aquarium like this. So not optimal, but a very easy way to do it. Now, we can't sell them, we can't ship them through online, but we do sell them in the store. Down low, we've got the koi starting to warm up. People are starting to ask for them. So we've got koi down there. Sometimes that doubles as discus. We've got all the lights that we sell. And then I'm gonna show you guys the quarantine room, because that's, I think, one of our best qualities we have, and that is a room dedicated to where we quarantine fish before they come out. So we go in here, and these are all fish that we're storing and getting ready to come out. So we've got more German blue rams, we've got gold rams, we have cardinal tetras, we have cardinal tetras, we have cardinal tetras, we have rummy nose tetras, we have rummy nose tetras. So you see a theme here, multiple tanks, so that way when they're ready to sell, if we run out of cardinals on the floor, come grab some of these, then we grab these, then we grab these. And as we sell them, we refill them with more to quarantine. And you can see all of these tanks are all on auto water change. They all get meds and different fish in each one. If we come over here, we'll see some back stock. Like these are some of the half beaks I want to take home in this 30-gallon tank. Lots of neon tetras here, more neons here. We've got, as you saw out there, we have honey grammies. This is the next batch that will take those. You saw that we had pro grammies. This is the next batch that will take those. And you know, on goes the system. Then we have our drop-off bins. So this is when people are moving and stuff like that, and they just come and they drop off fish. That's what this is. So, you know, fish drop off, we receive them, we medicate them, and then we find them a home. Usually it's selling them off cheaply. But we've got lots of weird stuff in there, lots of different barbs. You know, you never know what's coming in, and we don't want to like jam up the quarantine tanks. So, is that actually an albino? That's the first, that's been a long time since I've seen that. It's an albino dojo loach. It's actually kind of an expensive fish. Normally you see golden dojos, but not albinos. This guy was just left in a bucket on our floor and someone walked back out. So we have this giant chunky goldfish in with some of this other drop off. So sometimes it spills over into another 40 breeder. And what'll happen is once they get it through meds, then what we're gonna do is we're gonna get them out on the floor and we sell them very cheap, and that's kind of the way it goes. But you know, that's the store. It's been around, you know, now we're in our 6th or 7th year, and you know, it's kind of been it was my life's work for many years until we started really expanding what we do online. But still proud of the store, still lots of cool fish. And here's my metric of when I know we're doing well. When I come in and I find fish I want to get, I'm taking that home. Ooh, I want these. And so that's how I know we're still doing fun things. Like at any moment I could take home these giant cribs. These guys are super cool down here. And there's always things hidden. Like I didn't see this when we walked through. Longfin green dragon bristlenose in the corner. Didn't even see that, locally bred as well. So, you know, it's a symbiotic relationship between our fans and customers, breeding fish, helping us get cool stuff. If you're just buying cool stuff, it allows us to bring in more cool stuff, and everyone kind of gets what they want long term. We have to hunt sometimes, but you know, even a guy like Dean can find stuff he wants to play with and take home, and then we buy it back when he's done breeding it. Yeah, you like those too, huh? Yeah, I really like those as well. I haven't played a whole lot with half beaks. I haven't played with any half beaks in probably 5 years now, but I used to really attempt, but I could never afford to buy many of them. So like those silver half beaks that Dean's looking at are what, $9 each? $9, that's a deal. And they're really hard to get a hold of. So now that we're doing better at the store, I have to buy them. I bought them 300 at a time. So I had to buy 300 of these things, you know, and if it's like typical markup, we'd buy them for 1/3, right? So if they're selling for $9, that means we spent $900 buying these half beaks, which I care about, Dean cares about, and the public's going wild for them. But you got to buy at least 6, so they're not a cheap fish, you know. But we do like to bring in that rarer stuff. So as you guys support us to do that, we'll do that kind of stuff. Yeah, those green, I want to find those in the wild too. So I'd show you the bettas, but the bettas are turned off, and we'll save that for another video. So thanks for hanging out with us tonight. And it's always fun to come back to where I started it all in the fish store and just make sure things are going good and that I still enjoy it, and still proud of what Robert and the crew are doing. They're doing an amazing job. So buy all of our plants and fish, and we'll see you in the next video.